Hey there, fellow weirdos, and welcome back to the weird side of history. You know, the side that they don't put in textbooks. We're talking about events so bizarre, so unbelievably strange, that you'll be scratching your head and saying, wait, they never covered in school. We've got dancing plagues, emu armies, silent zones, phantom timelines, and even, wait for it, raining fish. Buckle up, Buttercup, because we're diving headfirst into the rabbit hole of history's most mind-boggling mysteries. All right, picture this. It's 1518. You're strolling through Strasbourg, France, enjoying a baguette or whatever they ate back then, and suddenly, a woman starts dancing in the street. Not just any dance, mind you, but a full-on frenzied jig. Weird, right? Now imagine a week later, there are 30 people dancing uncontrollably, and within a month, it's over 400 people. This, my friends, is the baffling tale of the dancing plague. Now you might be thinking, hey, spontaneous dance party sounds fun, but hold your horses, disco dude, because this wasn't your grandma's Zumba class. These people weren't just cutting a rug, they were dancing themselves to death. We're talking exhaustion, heart attacks, strokes, the whole 9 yards. And the creepiest part, nobody knew why. Some folks blamed it on hot blood, others on demonic possession. But whatever the cause, this dancing epidemic remains one of history's most bizarre and unsolved mysteries. Imagine the scene, hundreds of people, gripped by this inexplicable urge to dance, their faces contorted in a mix of ecstasy and agony. It's like something out of a medieval nightmare, a scene you'd expect to see in a Bosch painting, not real life. And the authorities? Well, they didn't know what to do. Imagine calling up your local government and saying, yeah, hi, we've got a bit of a situation here. Hundreds of people are dancing uncontrollably in the streets. They tried everything, prayer, exorcisms, even more dancing, thinking, hey, maybe they'll just tire themselves out. Spoiler alert, it didn't work. The dancing plague finally subsided after a few months, leaving behind a trail of bewildered historians and a whole lot of unanswered questions. Okay, let's talk about Australia, a land known for its unique wildlife. Kangaroos, koalas, deadly spiders, you know, the usual suspects. But what about giant, flightless birds with a bone to pick? In 1932, Australia found itself embroiled in a conflict so bizarre, so utterly ridiculous, that it could only be called the Great Emu War. Imagine rolling fields of wheat, the sun shining down on the Australian outback, and suddenly, thousands upon thousands of emus, those 6-foot-tall feathered behemoths, decide to invade. You see, after World War I, a bunch of veterans were given farmland in Western Australia. The problem? It was also prime emu territory. And these weren't your friendly neighborhood pigeons. These birds were aggressive, they were hungry, and they were multiplying faster than a gremlin in a bathtub. The farmers, understandably freaked out, appealed to the government for help. And the government, in all its infinite wisdom, said, say no more. They deployed soldiers, actual, trained soldiers, armed with Lewis machine guns to combat the feathered fiends. You can't make this stuff up. The stage was set for an epic showdown, man versus bird, Lewis gun versus beacon claw. Now you might think that a bunch of soldiers with automatic weapons would make short work of some oversized chickens. And you'd be wrong. See, emus are surprisingly cunning. They're fast, they're agile, and they have this uncanny ability to dodge bullets like they're in a Matrix movie. The soldiers, on the other hand, well, let's just say they weren't exactly prepared for avian warfare. They underestimated the enemy, their guns jammed, and the emus, they just kept coming. The Great Emu War raged on for a month, a hilarious yet strangely terrifying spectacle. Newspapers ate it up, reporting on the emu menace and the feathered fiends that were terrorizing the countryside. In the end, the emus, in all their wily glory, claimed victory. The soldiers retreated, defeated, and probably a little embarrassed. The Great Emu War stands as a testament to the unpredictable nature of, well, nature, and a reminder that sometimes the truth is stranger than any fiction we could dream up. Deep in the heart of the Mexican desert lies a place shrouded in mystery, a place where the laws of physics seem to take a vacation, and the unexplained is just another Tuesday. Welcome, my friends, to the Zone of Silence. Imagine this. You're cruising through the desert, radio blasting, when suddenly, silence. No static, no signal, just pure, eerie quiet. You try your cell phone, but it's the same story. Congratulations, you've stumbled into the Zone of Silence, a 50-kilometer patch of desert where radio waves go to die. Now, you might be thinking, okay, so it's a dead zone. What's so strange about that? Well, for starters, nobody knows why it exists. Some say it's due to magnetic anomalies, others blame it on underground deposits of iron ore. There are even whispers of government conspiracies and alien activity. And as if the radio silence wasn't creepy enough, the Zone of Silence has another trick up its sleeve. It's a magnet for meteorites. Over the years, countless meteorites have crash-landed in this mysterious zone, including the famous Allende meteorite, which is chock full of ancient pre-solar system material. It's like the universe decided to use this patch of desert as target practice. But here's where things get really weird. Locals and visitors to the Zone of Silence have reported all sorts of strange occurrences. Unexplained lights in the sky, bizarre mutations in plant and animal life, even encounters with strange beings. Some say time moves differently within the zone. Others claim that compasses spin wildly, and there are whispers of a mysterious energy that permeates the air. Is it all just tall tales and desert mirages? Or is there something truly inexplicable happening in the Zone of Silence? Maybe it's the isolation, the vastness of the desert sky, or maybe, just maybe, there are forces at work that we're not meant to understand. Whatever the explanation, the Zone of Silence remains a place of mystery, a place where the known world collides with the unknown, leaving us with more questions than answers. Okay, history buffs, get ready to have your minds blown. What if I told you that a good chunk of the Middle Ages, 297 years to be exact, never actually happened? That's the premise behind the phantom time hypothesis, a controversial theory that suggests the years 614 to 911 AD were completely fabricated. I know, it sounds crazy, but hear me out. The theory was proposed by Herbert Illig, who argued that there's a discrepancy between the historical record and the archaeological evidence from that period. He pointed to inconsistencies in dating systems, a lack of archaeological artifacts, and even the architectural styles of buildings as evidence that something's fishy. Imagine centuries of history gone, vanished, poof! Did Charlemagne really exist? Was the Carolingian Renaissance just a figment of someone's imagination? Proponents of the phantom time hypothesis believe that powerful figures like Emperor Otto III and Pope Sylvester II conspired to rewrite history, perhaps to legitimize their own reigns or to erase certain events from the historical record. They argue that these historical heavyweights cooked up a grand scheme, fabricating documents, forging artifacts, and basically creating a historical narrative that suited their needs. Now, the phantom time hypothesis is highly debated among historians, and most mainstream scholars dismiss it as pseudoscience. They argue that the evidence Illig presents is circumstantial and that there are other explanations for the historical discrepancies he points out. But even if it's just a fringe theory, it's a fascinating thought experiment. It makes you question everything you thought you knew about history and the nature of time itself. Could a significant chunk of our past be a carefully constructed illusion? All right, folks, buckle up because we're finishing our journey into the bizarre with a phenomenon so strange, so utterly unbelievable, that you'll swear I'm making it up. But I assure you, this is 100% real. Get ready for the rain of fish in Honduras. Every year in the small town of Lloro, Honduras, something incredible happens. After a torrential downpour, the streets are left teeming with hundreds, sometimes thousands of live fish. Imagine the storm subsides, the sun peeks out from behind the clouds, and you step outside to find your neighborhood transformed into a scene from a biblical plague, except instead of locusts, it's fish. Now, the locals have a name for this phenomenon, Lluvia de Peces, which literally translates to rain of fish. They believe it's a blessing, a miracle sent from God to provide food for the community. But how on earth do these fish end up falling from the sky? The most common scientific explanation is that waterspouts, those tornado-like columns of water, suck up fish from nearby bodies of water, like the Atlantic Ocean, and carry them inland before dropping them onto unsuspecting towns. But there are a few problems with this theory. For starters, Lloro is located over 50 miles from the ocean, and waterspouts, while powerful, aren't exactly known for their long-distance hauling capabilities. Plus, the fish that fall from the sky during Lluvia de Peces are all of a single species, a type of freshwater fish not typically found in the nearby rivers or lakes. So if they're not coming from the ocean or the surrounding waterways, where are they coming from? Some speculate that the fish might be migrating through underground rivers or aquifers, but that still doesn't explain how they end up raining down on Lloro. So there you have it, folks. 5 of history's most unbelievable events that sound like they're straight out of a fever dream. From dancing plagues and emu armies to silent zones, phantom timelines, and raining fish, the world never ceases to amaze with its bizarre and unexplained mysteries. Which fact did you find the most mind-boggling? Let me know in the comments below. And while you're at it, drop a line and tell me what other weird and wonderful corners of history you'd like to explore in future videos. Until next time, stay curious, stay weird, and keep questioning everything.